Bueno, mi gente, bienvenido a la parte 5. Vamos a ver qué tal nos va en esta parte del juego. Vamos ahora para Atlantis, si no me equivoco. Le dejaré la parte 4 por aquí arriba para que vean también. Así que vamos a darle. Y bueno, señores, vamos a darle las misiones. Acuérdense que esta es la parte 5 de Starfield, señores. Vamos allá. Vamos ahora para Atlantis. Vamos a ir a resolver alguna cosita que tenemos que hacer con los archivos, para uno poder tener acceso. Vamos allá, vamos allá, vamos allá, vamos allá. Entonces, vamos aquí a las misiones. Y vamos a setear el cruzo para Atlantis. Y tenemos que estar aquí, yo creo, ¿eh? Sí, vamos a conocer a esta muchacha. Vamos para allá. Set landing y vamos para abajo. Entonces seguimos aquí. Demos un segundito, señores. Entonces vamos para aquí arriba. Vamos a hablar con la comandante.
Captain, over here. The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus, woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin, a title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come.
More interested in what this has to do with the addressing in the cabinet.
I'm getting there. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death on both sides. Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned.
You know your father is cabinet doesn't know.
I really appreciate you saying that.
Ustedes pueden ver en la parte de arriba apareció algo que dice como empatía, que entre más empatía tú tienes con la persona, más eso le llega en los skills con empatía. Si ven el primer video, eso fue lo que yo me elegí de la empatía. Eso es lo que más se parece a mí.
No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here.
Have any question? No, I don't have
Then
any.
I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet
Vamos para allá.
chambers.
Oh, oh, mira, ¿y qué fue? Oh, oh. Pues miren ahora, vamos a quitarnos este caco. No ve la cara.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
I made it clear addressing the issue required anything.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope will determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
We're still trying to figure it out what it's facing. We can make an informed decision with data.
That's quite the leap, Captain. Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium.
Medium.
I would also ask, how many deaths the cabinet requires to act? 50?
Le
50,000?
eché un boche a ella ahí.
Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are
Buen
just
boche.
prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this terramorph seem at all alarming to you?
So the comments are pretty alarming.
That is worth considering. This attack took place on an almost completely uninhabited world. The casualties were minimal as a result. But if there's another attack, will we be so lucky?
Yes, a fine point, Admiral. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
Is there a chance of what happened?
I'm uncomfortable opening the archives without gathering more information. However, if that's the path forward you prefer, then so be it.
I'm inclined to agree.
As am I.
I suppose that does get to the heart of the point, doesn't it? Very well. I consent. The galaxy was lucky you were here today, Captain.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to... What was that?
Attention.
Leo, Bobo. Bobo.
Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident. Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terramorphs.
Terramorphs.
More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
Damn it. They're here. Now.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly.
Habla mucho en el juego, señores, habla
The last
mucho.
thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support.
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
Vamos allá.
The EM rifle, grab it!
That's it. Now hit him.
Otra mía de alma, que fue la alma que nos dieron, que fue esta.
We're trying to help you. What are you doing? EM fire, Captain.
You're done.
Pero estos tigres están guapos.
Will stop. You're a
Thank God you got here when you did.
No quería matar civiles, pero había que hacerlo.
I just
O no puede sobrevivir.
wish it hadn't come to that.
Yeah, what the hell happened back there, Captain? There's no excuse for using lethal force here. Or you could have used the EM gun like you were ordered. These are lives you're playing with here. So get your head in the game. Understand? Now, officer, the way those people were acting, I've seen this before. They were under the Terramorph's influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but
Había que usar otra alma, no la que yo estaba usando.
we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection. Some terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready.
Sounds like we need a hustle.
Let's do it.
That's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
Bueno, tenemos que ir a otro sitio ahora. A la estación a pelear, yo creo. Vamos a pelear.
My God, no time to waste, Captain.
An evacuation order has been issued for the spaceport district. All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest shelter.
Come on, back up! Don't just stand there!
Como peleita, peleita.
Experts. Got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, barely holding our perimeter.
Estamos nosotros hipnotizados por la criatura.
Well, fire team to spare.
Ya se me quitó.
Can't risk them taking over any more women. Put those things down and do it fast. We hold them as best we can.
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on your 6.
You two have any experience with terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here, but we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us. Roger that. We're on you.
Quiero que me protege la espalda porque hay que ayudarnos.
Bring it.
Otra vez. Se juega con la mente de uno. No me voy a pegar para allá, tú estás loca. Me voy a pelear de lejos. Ok, ya matamos a ese. Vamos a hacer el quick save para curarnos en salud, en caso de que nos maten. Hay que protegernos, señores, porque el juego uno adelantándose al juego y venga uno lo atrasa en el juego por no salvar la partida. ¡Ey, ey, ey! Dale pile plomo a esto. Muere, maldito. Ahora tenemos que ir para allí. We save, por si acaso. Vamos a dar cotorra para allá abajo ahora.
Thank the heavens you're back in one piece. Though I guess our people weren't so lucky.
Te quedaste ahí haciendo nada.
The few protecting the many.
And it would have been plenty more if it hadn't been for the two of you. The city owes you both a debt after this.
We were just in the right place at the right time. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the terramorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Vamos para darle a ellos ahora de este problema, porque hay que tomarle, que tienen que hacerme caso. Si no me hacen caso, vamos a morir todos. Vamos para el distrito principal ahora. Estos se quedaron ahí como que en vez de ayudarme a pelear.
Whole building's on lockdown.
That's a relief to hear. Thank Captain. Hadrian, it would appear that the cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today, as well as an apology. Your concerns about the terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
We thank you.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the cabinet. You will have our full support in collecting the terramorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy are facing right now. The cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that representative.
That's right, that's we for the action.
We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us?
Can come with
I'm
me,
glad to
madam.
hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. You're dismissed.
Those creatures killed UC citizens.
Entonces vamos ahora a buscar esos datos.
A Vanguard captain. You... Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require. That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the terramorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
Yes.
Someone paid attention.
Vamos a
in
hablar de historia un
current
poquito porque si no duramos
So,
mucho hablando.
and you also know that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people, the ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varun, to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done.
Within the clarion experience attack, no problem. I'm going to need some electrodes into extraction some sodium.
I couldn't agree more. However, both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate. And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative.
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Varoon?
Ah, the good Ambassador Radcliffe.
She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable. Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her.
Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support.
And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code.
All right, tell me about those other tools then.
Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze.
UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage.
But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell.
So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen.
Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you.
That's any info I need in moments.
All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise.
And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there.
Ambassador Balmore's a challenge. When the rest of House Varoon retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmore stayed here. He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again. Though claiming to know how a member of House Varoon thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval. It does, but there's
Ay, tanto que hablan.
concern. We're not 100% sure Balmore's actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting.
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice.
I have no doubt.
Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there.
Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask. I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff's mind. Be smart out there, Captain.
Ok, ahora vamos a volar con la tipa, tíale, 2 horas hablando aquí.
Sergeant Yumi's looking for reliable people to help a guard. Contact him if you're interested.
Is there a reason they're taking this route?
Oh, podemos nadar aquí, que heavy. Podemos nadar, no sabía. Está por la puerta, vive.
You are a visitor? You'll find the ambassador in her office. Visitors are only allowed in the lobby.
I'm going to be upfront with you. I'm not happy visiting anything related to the Freestar Collective. But you lead, and I'll follow.
Still can't protect their own spaceport. The UC never fails to disappoint. I just wish I hadn't received the news from an SSNN broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr. Long.
Of course, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Excuse me. Are you supposed to be in here?
You're allowed 3 places. Conference room, lobby, or the ambassador's office. You set foot anywhere else, there's going to be...
I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment? Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. She said you were at the spaceport. You have my thanks for what you did down there, truly. Saved many lives. Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just a bad connection, that now the UC wants terramorph data from the Armistice archives, some of the most highly guarded information in the galaxy, in order to protect us all. I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. Tell me I've got that right.
You heard correctly, actually.
I was afraid of that. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there because it is dangerous. I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now, why don't you quit wasting my time and yours, and go?
Please, Ambassador, just listen what I have to say.
Really gonna push this? All right, I will give you one chance. One to convince me. Understood.
Thank you, Ambassador.
I'm listening.
Okay, ahora hay que convencerla a ella ahora. So your response is possible pieces in action, replan. In real life, we have a situation.
I suppose you're right. Our job and our responsibility.
How many lives are you willing to risk here because you have a career? Okay.
Londinian. They had to abandon the planet. But that couldn't happen again.
Okay, something good can come out with the bad situation.
Oh, yes. This band research is precisely what the factions need to kickstart their relationship. Let's breed a bioweapon together. Captain, I'm sorry, but my answer is not changing. The UC is just gonna have to find another way. Now, I presume you can see yourself out. Did I not make myself abundantly clear, Captain? You're not getting access to the archives. No, Captain, I'm not, and I'll tell you why. What you experienced down there at the spaceport, I've lived that once before.
No va a ayudar la vieja.
Fought tooth and nail as aliens rampaged in the streets of my home and others all throughout the collective. But my aliens were placed there by UC hands. So I'm not interested in anyone getting power like that ever again. The UC most of all. You have my answer. Now please take the hint. I guess you will. Feel free to see yourself out.
Estas son las decisiones que hacen que el juego se alargue más.
That woman is an absolute... Oh, sorry. Oh, what? You're the Vanguard.
Tenemos que durar más ahora.
You know, I was about to board the Nat to the spaceport when the alarm triggered. Sounds like I got real lucky. And like I've got you to thank for things not being a lot uglier. Well, then you have my earnest thanks. But look, they said you were coming here on official business. The ambassador likes to handle all that personally, even if she does have trained diplomats here to help her. And I don't want to get shipped back to Aquila City, so you should probably go speak to her. What, you want me to work for you? Huh. Maybe, let's go somewhere to talk.
¿Qué podemos hacer ahora? Esta vieja no nos dejó hacer la vaina.
So you want me to work with you? But why now? Why me?
You need help preventing more terror attack.
No, I think that's a pretty safe assumption. And no other city should have to go through what happened here. So then, what would you need from me?
I need you to get an ambassadorship at access code.
Okay, first you need her bio key, and that thing doesn't leave her side. Better chance of splitting the atom with a spoon than me getting that from her.
I need you to get ambassadorship as well.
Okay, first you need her bio key, and that thing doesn't leave her side. Better chance of splitting the atom with a spoon than me getting that from her. Her quarters. Huh. Oh, that's doable. And you and the UC will be providing me with what for my services? Oh, wait. I thought you were looking to hire me. I'm not taking a bribe. That much, huh? Okay, yeah. Okay, so there's a utility corridor that leads to the ambassador's quarters, which you can access through the main conference room. Here, the key. Whatever you do, don't let the guards see you entering or exiting the utility section, or you're gonna be in serious hot water. I'll keep an ear out for more instructions from the UC.
Ya tenemos que nosotros fajarnos con esta vaina. Qué joder.
Official business? Who's there?
¿Dónde tengo que ir yo ahora?
Trying to get us thrown into prison.
Vamos a salir de aquí porque ahora estoy perdido yo. Vamos allá.
Who's that?
¿Dónde es que yo tengo que ir, por Dios? ¿De dónde es que tenemos que ir? Espérate.
Hard to believe it's been 2 decades since we were at war with the Collective, when it seems like only yesterday.
No estoy entendiendo porque está supuesto aparecerme aquí. ¿Por qué me hace esto el juego? ¿Por qué? No sé qué es lo que esto hace porque no me entiendo. Porque supuestamente aquí. Pero aquí para dónde. Una habitación.
This building is Freestar sovereign territory. So here.
Déjame ver algo, si esto es lo que yo estoy pensando. Create an effective man that is like a historical conference was found. Okay, this cannot be happening at all. ¿Por qué no me permite? Vamos a seguir viendo aquí a ver. Ajá. Oh, pero que la cosa es de que hay que hacer maniobra aquí. Ay, juego, ¿qué es lo que es? Hay que hacer magia aquí, ya yo me di cuenta.
Are you all right, Ambassador? It seems the Council of Governors has rejected my appeal to join. Again, which means you and I are stuck in this colonial rat cage until we die. But I think we might need to. We should expedite the process.
What are you getting at, ma'am?
I mean, my requests keep being rejected because they don't want to add a seat, right? What if one opened up? The mind of heart is what it used to be.
Quiere matar a una gente, la vieja.
It's not like anyone would miss him. Eva, I think it's time to get some sleep. Just think about it. Maybe we can reach out to some experts at that sort of thing, huh?
Good night, Eva.
¿Dónde la vieja ahora otra vez?
Did I not make myself abundantly clear, Captain? You're not getting access to the archives. Excuse me? I have no idea what you're talking
Vamos por la
about.
mala.
No. If the council found out, I'd lose my position. I'd be exiled. Look, I believe we may have gotten off on the wrong foot. The issue at hand is one of trust, no? So perhaps if I can trust you to keep this little secret between us, then maybe we can find a way to trust the UC with access to the archives.
You got yourself a deal.
Good. I appreciate
A la
you working
mala.
with me. Just like I'm sure our great powers will. In fact, I think there's an opportunity here. Keep both our factions happy and ensure an air of legitimacy to the whole proceeding. I can only let you get the information on the terramorphs. Anything else and people will get suspicious. And all research will need to be monitored. Freestar scientific observers making sure everything's being used for the right purposes. But those 2 items should be enough to allay any suspicions. Good. Okay, let's go get you your access.
Ah, no me lo dé, ¿no?
They tell me it should only take a moment. And there. It is reassuring to know there are still some people in this universe you can trust. There you go. I hope that'll be enough to maintain your discretion.
Nos fuimos de aquí. Ahora vamos a buscar otro, ahora yo creo. No.
When someone insults you, you want to just...
It's a shame House Varun abandoned their embassy. I bet we could have learned a lot from one another. Can you imagine how many credits flow through this place? Figuratively.
¿Verdad? Espérate, que yo creo que estoy hasta afuera. Bueno, como que va a haber problema. Vamos a tener que equiparnos con algo más, o que esta arma no va a dar para eso, pero vamos a ver. Vamos.
This isn't what I expected at all. It appears the flora they were using as decor has overgrown an entire embassy. I've never seen a tree like this before. It is actually more fascinating if its branches weren't.
O en el lobby. Y como siempre, señores, el quick save por si acaso.
I'm sure they had something we can use.
El save, como no se olvide nunca. De cargar. Uy. Yo. Dieron durísimo ahí. Oh, no lo estaba viendo. What the hell? Recarga, mijo. Ay. Estás esperando, canalla. Pero me perdí yo ahora. Un chin de vaina. save. Hacia abajo ahora. Oh. Recarga, mijo.
Find anything useful?
Otra vez el quick save, por si acaso.
So, what seems punishment becomes providence. A reminder we can never truly know the Great Serpent's designs for us. You have my thanks, and my apologies for the ordeal you just endured. Come, let us discuss.
Hablemos, viejito.
Not the ideal introduction, I suppose, giving you a grand tour of the embassy via barely functioning intercoms. I do greatly appreciate your persistence. I suspect the Venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more systems than I'd realized. But then again, who could cage such a beauty? Tell me though, what is it like outside? I heard the broadcast mentioning an attack. Then the embassy was struck with a power surge and then... silence. Has the rest of the city suffered quite so badly?
The Space Force road ship by emotions and the post
Is that right, huh? I shall need to have these repairs seen to sooner rather than later. Now, it cannot solely be the Serpent's grace that brought you here at such an opportune moment. You were sent by the UC. That much is obvious. Who else could just waltz through my door, hmm? And the broadcast spoke of terror morphs at the spaceport. A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of all places, when all I could provide is some enthused cheerleading and... an archive code. So the UC requires information, then. On terror morphs, presumably, hmm? Do I see this all clearly? I was not expecting a fellow believer on my doorstep. The preservation of life stands as the very purpose of the archives. Using its data to prevent more attacks, there is logic there. But if I am to grant you access, I have a requirement. For years, House Varun has been known only as an agent of slaughter. We founded this embassy with hopes of shedding that legacy. With little success. In exchange for my code, I require this. You must be the one who ensures it is used for good. Ensure House Varun's legacy is more than just carnage. The knowledge you ask for isn't evil. No knowledge is. It is we who bend it to evil ends. Oh, you must assure me this will be used to save lives, not endanger them. Create the legacy that our people deserve. Please, follow me. Let's hope it still works. And there. Let it be used for good.
You're carrying too many odds and ends. Time to hit something.
Vámonos, vieja. Que yo me confundo aquí. Una perdida que yo me doy aquí adentro, pero no masita. Te da vuelta aquí un rato, su santo. Afuera. Ok, señor, escúcheme que estoy chequeando algo aquí. Que vamos a ver si ponemos el juego en español. Me está mandando información sobre eso. Así lo puedo traer en español ustedes, así pueden entender lo que es el drama de la historia y todo ese tipo de cosas. Vamos a hacer el quick save, a cuidarnos en salud. Y nos vamos para el otro lado ahora.
On the record, what response?
I'm told by top officials.
Me estoy mareando, me falta oxígeno.
Just doesn't add up. Spaceport has anything.
Vamos a ver ahora.
Hello?
Yes?
Pardon. Captain, you're back sooner than... Oh, wait. Did you actually succeed? With Radcliffe? And Balmore?
Yes, sir.
We're all in agreement.
Yes, sir. Call the piece from the house bottom and fire collect and ready to deploy.
Incredible. I wasn't sure Radcliffe would ever get on board. I'm very much looking forward to getting the debrief on how precisely you managed to pull all this off, but that'll have to wait for another time. Regardless, superlative work, Captain. And now, I've already arranged everything with the archival monitors. When you get down there, the UC monitor will give you instructions on how to deploy the codes. Follow them to the letter. Here, the UC code piece and an archival access card. The entrance is just on the other side of the plaza across from Mast. Absolute best behavior down there, all right?
Busca los códigos ahora. A ver que el quick save aquí. Se me acaba el oxígeno, vámonos al paso. Tienen como un carrito, una vaina, porque hay que caminar como demasiado.
Captain, we've been expecting you. Please approach the monitoring station and we will go over the rules. Welcome, Captain, to the archives. To proceed, you will need to deposit your codes into the 3 corresponding receptacles. Once they are verified, I will open the door. Your data resides in Unit 18. You will not be able to access any of the other units. Once you've collected your data, return to the entrance. You may insert the first of the archival codes when you're ready to begin.
Y otro aquí. Y otro aquí.
You may proceed, Captain.
Y cogemos la vaina. ¡Pap!
Okay, that's it. Time to sell some of your junk.
Y nos vamos de aquí. Ya tenemos la data. Ahora vamos para la capitana, creo. Vamos a reunirnos con la gente ahora. Vamos a poner un chin de health. No tengo más health. Ajá.
Excuse me?
Oh, ¿y para dónde ella va?
Captain. Surprised to find out we're having visitors as we work.
Major Sinan and I were just discussing the merits of your planned interfactional cooperation. I think it's a great idea.
¿Dónde ella cogió?
Now, Captain, if you wouldn't mind transferring the documents to the Major, she and I have been discussing next steps.
¿Pero qué? ¿Qué tipo se desapareció?
Hello.
De la vaina de los errores del juego, vale, mira eso.
Okay. Hello.
And my mother wanted me to be a doctor. Mothers, am I right?
Mira ese error del juego ahí. Y entonces voy a darle para atrás, volver para atrás para poder entrar, porque ¿qué entonces?
Ever wonder how the Crimson Fleet seems to be everywhere? It's because
Time
Por
for us to
errorazo
start
del
getting
juego.
some real answers and figure out if we've been asking the right questions. So whenever you're ready. Acknowledged and accepted, Captain. So with the data out of the way, we've been discussing where exactly this work's getting done. The Red Devil's headquarters on Mars, back where you found Percival, seemed the natural spot. Already has the equipment, the safety measures. Should even be able to house its own cadre of independent observers. Though it sounded like the deputy had a few more things she needed to discuss with you first.
Indeed. The most important of which is getting you your citizenship.
Then I guess we'll see you on Mars.
Captain, if you'll follow me.
Vamos a juramentar ahora.
Yes, what?
All right, Captain. Are you ready to become a citizen of the United Colonies?
Yes, I'm ready.
Good. This isn't the only item we need to discuss, so I'll give you the short version. Please raise your hand. Captain, through your actions today and in days past, you have earned your place among the United Colonies. Through service, bravery, strength, and upholding of the mutual good. Will you carry and cultivate these values for as long as you remain a citizen?
Yes, I will.
Then, Captain, I'm pleased to welcome you into the United Colonies as a full citizen. Here, your official ID and your citizenship dispensation.
We've also let the Aphelion Realty office out in the plaza know you're approved to purchase property.
Now, the other item we needed to discuss. There's a member of the UC who's asked to speak to you, but this person is in a sensitive position.
Normally, we wouldn't even consider something like this, but we think this person has information that could prove useful in dealing with the Terramorphs. And they've stated they'll only share it with you. They asked for you by name.
So I need your agreement that everything you're about to see is kept in the strictest confidence. You can tell no one. Can you agree to these terms?
I will take it to the
Let's
grave.
hope it never comes to that. Head to the elevator. You're going to subsection 7. I'll make sure you're cleared for access by the time you get there.
Okay. Vamos a ver qué es lo que dice.
Okay.
Vete de ahí, Sara, hombre. Vamos a ver qué es lo que dicen para acá abajo. Sub 7, vamos para abajo a ver qué es lo que quieren hablar con nosotros.
I've lived in New Atlantis almost my entire life, and I had no idea this place even existed. The UC certainly excels at keeping secrets.
Your friend's gonna have to wait out here.
I'll be fine. You go on ahead.
Welcome, Captain. Please, come down and approach the intercom. You and I should chat. President Abeyo was kind enough to give me a few files to peruse. Quite the series of accomplishments you've managed. But now you face a foe unlike any other. An invisible enemy, lurking in the shadows. You're going to need all the help you can get. Which is why I hoped we could speak. Do you know who I am?
Nope. Can I say it?
Francois Sanon. But most know me as Victus. I was an admiral during the Colony War. One of its great villains, if you believe the slates. I was to be executed for my crimes. But the previous regime deemed me too valuable to simply discard. So they put me here.
Ah, pues el papá. Ah, es el papá de la chamaca.
Even my death served the colonies. Captain, please. There are no clean hands in galactic politics. We all do what we must to keep ourselves safe. Which, right now, means finding a way to protect the United Colonies and beyond from additional terramorph attacks. An effort you and my progeny Hadrian have already made impressive progress on. And I'd like to help, though I am curious. Has she shared with you the nature of our little family? Did she? So willing to trust Hadrian. I never did succeed in driving that out of her. Our relationship has always been a challenging one. The Major was born to become a great leader.
Me mintió la jeva.
Established, and was given all the finest training to support it. And she excelled. But the universe cut all that short. Now, though, it's placed even more crucial work in front of the two of you. And I think I have a part to play in helping you accomplish what you've set out to do.
I'm listening.
After some long years earning the trust of this current regime, the UC has been permitting me to work alongside one of their recovery teams, helping them gather intelligence on, locate, and organize scenarios.
A mí me gusta que yo siempre dejo la conversación en larga, pero hay que escucharlo porque que así uno puede hacer las misiones más fáciles.
With quite a few successes, I might add. But in the process, I managed to find something else. The names and locations of Hadrian and Percival's old research team. Valuable manpower for the effort you're about to embark on. I'll tell you where they are, but in exchange, I need something dealt with. There is a former colleague of mine, a man by the name of Dr. Reginald Orlaise. Like myself and Hadrian, he was involved in some of the United Colonies' more problematic lines of research. Mech weapons were his specialty. If it dealt death, he could make a deal more. When the colony war ended, he fled, refusing to face tribunal, and has continued to peddle his skills to the highest bidder to this day. But I finally found him. I want you to track him down and deal with him, however you're able. I'm not expecting he'll come quietly. Bring me evidence that the job's done, and I'll tell you what I know. Good. According to my information, he's been hiding around the world of Etheria. Wolf system. There's a star station in the vicinity. The Den. The head of the local vanguard, one Captain Marquez, should be able to help you find our man.
Ok, señores, entonces vamos a hacer ese tipo de esa misión, pero vamos a dejar para la parte 6. Así que ustedes saben, suscríbanse, denle like, metan mano. Vamos a hacer esa misión en la parte 6.